Hey everyone, it's Melanie, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be sharing my family's journey with sensory processing disorder. Sensory processing disorder, or SPD, is a neurological condition that affects how the brain interprets information from the senses. I had not heard of the term until just a few years ago, when my daughter was diagnosed with it. I felt completely overwhelmed, and I honestly didn't know where to turn. But through the support of an amazing occupational therapist, we've learned to navigate my daughter's challenges and find strategies that work for our family. I hope our story offers hope and support to other parents who are just starting this journey. Let me take you back a few years when my daughter began kindergarten at a brand new school. I knew something was wrong almost immediately. She was struggling severely with everything from going to the bathroom, eating, and sleeping. She would wake up in the middle of the night screaming and wet the bed. She would cry the entire morning before school, and I would be called within an hour of dropping her off that she had to come home or she needed a change of clothes because she had an accident. She was afraid to eat for the fear her stomach would hurt at school, and I wouldn't be there to soothe and comfort her. I dreaded the evenings because she would have these unimaginable meltdowns. She would be completely inconsolable, almost dissociating and unaware of her body. My husband and I didn't know what was happening. She was a completely different child than just a few months before, when she was in preschool. I confided in a good friend whose son has autism and had similar issues as well. She gave me a book called The Out of Sync Child by Carol Stock Kranowitz. This book gave me massive insight into SPD and ultimately guided me to the most amazing occupational therapist and woman I've ever known. I had never heard of occupational therapy, and definitely didn't know how crucial this would be in helping us on our SPD journey. Imagine walking into a room and feeling overwhelmed by every sound, every touch, every light. That's a glimpse into what life can be like for someone with SPD. Essentially, people with SPD have difficulty processing and responding to sensory information from their environment. And this can involve being extremely sensitive to sounds, lights, textures, tastes, or smells. Loud noises might be unbearable. Certain fabrics might feel incredibly painful, and even bright lights can cause discomfort. On the other hand, some individuals might be undersensitive to sensory input. They might not notice pain, temperature changes, or even hunger cues. Some people with SPD actively seek out sensory input. They might constantly crave movement, enjoy strong pressures, or have a strong desire to touch everything. A common symptom of SPD is difficulty with sounds. Some individuals are overwhelmed by loud noises, sensitive to certain pitches, and have difficulty filtering out background noise. Challenges with touch can include a dislike of certain textures, strong reactions to light touch, and difficulty with clothing. My daughter refused to wear certain items, such as her uniform skirt or socks, which were required by her school as part of the dress code. This was such an issue that we would be late to school daily or completely miss school because of the total meltdowns. The sensation of the skirt on her skin was so overwhelming that she would be in tears and clawing at it to get it off. Socks have a tiny little seam at the end of the toes. For most people, this is a non-issue, but for someone like my daughter that has SPD, it is like being tortured. Some kids have issues with movement. They can have difficulty with balance and coordination, seeking constant movement, or even avoiding movement altogether. My daughter flaps her arms and hands when she's overstimulated or excited. This is called stimming. Stimming can include things like hand flapping, rocking, spinning, pacing. And some people rub their hands, tap objects, or bite their nails. This can help them feel calmer, more focused, or less overwhelmed by sensory input. While this is more frequent and noticeable in individuals with autism, everyone stims to some degree. Things like tapping your foot, drumming your fingers, or even twirling your hair are all mild forms of stimming. Back to SPD signs and symptoms. Some kids have problems with visual input and are extremely sensitive to bright lights. They have difficulty with visual tracking and can be easily distracted by visual stimuli. Taste and smell issues can show up as strong aversions to certain foods, picky eating habits, and sensitivity to odors. My daughter only eats about 5 or 6 things and refuses to try anything if it isn't those exact foods. She's always been this way, and despite eating such a limited variety of foods, fortunately, she is healthy. SPD can significantly impact a person's daily life. They may experience difficulty with social interactions and social situations. Communication may be a challenge, and they may even have issues with others getting in their personal space. Difficulties with concentration, challenges with handwriting and motor skills, and sensory distractions can all be classroom challenges for kids with SPD. Difficulties with bathing, dressing, and grooming can be particularly frustrating. Getting my daughter to bathe has been a challenge since I can remember. We have to have the water temperature exactly right, the right soap, the right towel. Even when she gets out of the bath, the way she is dried off has to be exact, or else it can lead to a complete meltdown. You can imagine just how frustrating and exhausting this is on a parent. Okay, here's the good part of my story. We contacted an occupational therapist who specializes in working with children in their home. Occupational therapists, or OTs, play a crucial role in helping individuals with sensory issues, among other neurological conditions and developmental issues. Here's how. First, the OT conducts a thorough assessment to understand the individual's specific sensory challenges. This may involve observing their responses to different sensory stimuli, such as sounds, textures, lights, and movement. They also gather information about the individual's daily routines, social interactions, and even academic performance. OTs can use a play-based approach to help individuals better process and integrate sensory information. This may involve activities like swinging, jumping on trampolines, playing in a sensory bin, or climbing and crawling. We bought an indoor silk swing that my daughter can wrap herself up in like a cocoon. She can swing, spin, and rock back and forth in it. We also have a trampoline for her to jump on at home, and even got a membership to an indoor trampoline park so she can jump even when it's cold and rainy outside. OTs teach individuals and their families strategies to manage sensory sensitivities in everyday life. One of the strategies used is creating a sensory diet. What is a sensory diet? It's a personalized plan that incorporates calming or stimulating activities throughout the day. OTs can help by modifying the child's environment, adjusting lighting, noise levels, and textures in the home or at school. Our OT gave us a special cushion for my daughter to sit on in school. It helps with her core and improves her focus in class by keeping her self-regulated and reducing fidgeting. At home, we use a weighted blanket, and this is a game changer. Weighted blankets come in a range of weights and sizes. We use one that is 20 pounds. Did you know a weighted blanket calms the nervous system, helps increase serotonin and melatonin production, and reduces the stress hormone cortisol? It even gives a grounding effect, which can reduce anxiety and quiet racing thoughts. Some kids with SPD need to use noise-canceling headphones to create a calmer environment. These headphones significantly reduce the intensity of background noise, such as traffic, crowds, or construction sounds. This can help prevent sensory overload, which can be overwhelming and distressing. My husband is extremely sensitive to sounds too, and uses a special kind of earplug to reduce outside noise. He can still hear it, just takes it down a few notches. This comes in especially handy when you have kids that scream like mine. Fidget toys are another great option because they can not only improve focus and attention, but they can reduce anxiety and stress. But the best part is they are typically discreet and can be placed in the child's pocket or kept in their desk at school. We use something called Crazy Erin's Thinking Putty. It's a really amazing putty that you can squeeze and squish, and it really helps my daughter stay calm. She also has a textured sensory strip. It's a little strip the size of a Band-Aid that she rubs with her finger, and it somehow calms her when she's stressed out. It's great because she can keep it in her pocket and use it when she needs to. With the incredible help of an OT, we have combined sensory integration therapy and created a sensory-friendly environment in our home and at my daughter's school to help her not only deal with difficult situations, but to thrive. I can't say enough good things about how OT has changed her life and mine. If you suspect that you or someone you know may have SPD, it's crucial to consult with a healthcare professional, such as a pediatrician, occupational therapist, or neurologist. I hope this video has provided some insight into my family's experience with SPD. Remember, every child is unique and there's no one-size-fits-all approach. But don't be afraid to advocate for your child and seek the support you need. There are resources available, and you don't have to face these challenges alone. I believe in you and your child's ability to thrive. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.